identify something in you that they can exploit, that they can use to their advantage. And then what they do is they cultivate that.
Yes.
And then you get lured in. And you're like, oh my God, he makes me feel good.
Yes.
She knows me, right? I haven't felt this way before. And then before you even know it, full fledged in it. And that's how they will get you. One thing that seems to be common in both situations is the gaslighting piece. And I know that I shared that I love the quote that you have where it's choosing me over gaslighting. When I battled cancer, I faced another fight, the one against my narc ex. His gaslighting attempted to silence my voice, invalidate my fears, diminish my worth. And that worth one is so true. A lot of people who are in these situations feel their value decrease. Like, but when they've entered the relationship, the first couple of dates, they were built up to think that their value was so high. She likes me like this. He's treating me this way. They build you up and build you up, right? And you feel on top of the world. And then shortly after that, they start to tear you down. And then you begin to feel like you don't have any worth. But then you said, but in that pivotal moment, I made a life changing decision. I chose me. Describe that feeling and take us through how you were able to do that.
Yeah, I thank you for bringing up that particular post. I write about this very often, and I think it's really, really, really important. Um, yes, I had cancer, and for him, it was, how can I say this? All the attention was on me, all my family and friends, all the attention that we had for everybody was on me. So all of our colleagues, um, it was all on me. Get Amanda better. Let's get Amanda right, etc. And he did not like that, and he told me to stop talking about it. And I was like, excuse me, I am going through something really serious here. And it was only that was probably I suffered a lot in that marriage and really tried to make it work because I was very determined not to have two, and I no longer say this, but two failed marriages or two marriages. Yeah, two failed marriages. And so I worked damn hard. And when I was working so hard on not letting this marriage fail, I worked hard on burying me. I worked hard on burying who I was. And when I got cancer, that was a wake up call that I sort of, the repetition came to mind. And I was like, you can't do it. Because he'd asked me not to talk about things before, like, don't talk about that person at work. Don't talk about this situation. Don't wear those bits of clothing. These unwritten, well, these rules that they have on you, they say it once and you know you're not to repeat it again. And this one, I was like, this is impossible. I need to talk about it. It's going to be life changing. I need to go to appointments. I need tests. The children need looking after. There was just this myriad of things that fell behind it. This just isn't possible. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I need his help in about 3 weeks' time with something. I'm not going to talk about it at all for 3 weeks, which was really hard to not talk about my feelings, to not talk about my fears, to not talk about children in all of this. I just didn't talk about it. And then, so 3 weeks later, I needed his help with an appointment. And he went mad at me. You're always talking about this. I've told you not to talk about it. And I was like, I haven't said anything for 3 weeks. Yes, you have. You mentioned it the other day. And I was like, oh no, don't. This isn't. And it was in the discussion that I was like, I am very clear and fluid with exactly what I'm saying. I'm very clear and fluid, knowing exactly what has happened in the last few days. Don't lie to me. Don't change the situation. This is not, and it all just went, it was like the oracle, all these conversations that I previously had. It was like, you've done this before to me. And I sucked it up and I went on with it. You've done this before to me, that you made me believe that you were correct and that I was somehow had a space in time that happened in my mind or something like that. No, I know exactly what was going on every single day, and you are lying to me now, and this is over. So, and in that moment, I was like, no, this is not going to happen anymore, and I'm out of it. And it was literally in that week, my love just went over.
You mentioned that you were burying yourself in that second marriage and that you were holding on to it. Was there some shame, maybe, or some hesitation because you didn't want to be known as someone that has had two failed marriages under your belt?
Yeah, but they not just. There's a couple of things to that. The shame of me being a successful career lady, having a narcissistic husband, didn't fit well. So I buried it to be able to keep up the facade for everybody. Um, and on the other side of things, they also tell you, well, nobody's going to want you. You know, you're going to be a single mom. You're at this age. You've had cancer. Who's going to want you? Nobody's going to want you. So you go, okay, yeah, maybe I'm a little meek person and I don't deserve to be loved because I've had 2 divorces and I've had cancer. No. So there's two things. Part of you, because society tells you, you know, you should be stronger and not be in this relationship. And then you've got the person that you're in the relationship with telling you, yeah, do be shameful and nobody's going to want you. So it's like you're squeezed in the middle of it. So no wonder you feel shame.
Yeah, it's interesting that people have this like view of when someone is in an abusive relationship. They think it's someone that is uneducated,
Mm-hmm.
that can't take care of themselves, that is in such need of
Yes.
someone besides them, but they don't realize that an abusive victim is in all shapes and forms. It could be the CEO at the job, it can be the barista at the coffee shop, it can be the sanitation worker, it could be the doctor, it could be the nurse, it could be the lawyer, it could be the police officer. It doesn't necessarily tie into the job that you have, but what you find is that some people who are maybe highly educated, highly successful, when they find themselves in these situations, they start to say, "How am I in this when I have this, this, and this?"
Yeah.
Right? Because maybe in their mind they have a stereotypical view of an abusive victim that doesn't match who they are.